so good to have you here, and welcome, welcome, welcome. So Laura, anything you want to add before we start introducing ourselves? It's so good to, apart from, we decided that we're also giving you Reiki, so you're in that healing energy just by being on the call. And if you watch replay as well, that will be sent to you as well. So it's a really, already you're getting so much benefit just by having our conversation.
Yeah, I just want to say welcome to everybody. We've been looking forward to this, and we do have a couple free gifts because we wanted all of you guys to come in and really gain the most benefit from holistic healing. And so, as Rachel and I said, as energy workers, we are coming in today with a lot of this unconditional love and giving Reiki to everybody that's here. That just comes naturally for Rachel and I. We're going to talk about some great stuff today. We're really going to connect some dots to how chronic illness is not something that is a death sentence for us. It is not a long-term loop that we need to be stuck in. And we have the power to reverse that once we understand how the body works. So that's what Rachel and I are going to talk about, some really exciting stuff.
Very exciting stuff. Yes. So let's just start then. And any questions, there'll be an opportunity to ask any questions as well as we go through. There's a question and answer at the end as well. So the chat is open. So if you want to put anything in there, feel free to. This is yours. You can have a conversation, and Laura can pick up that as well while I'm going through. Hold on. Right. Just a second. Right. So we are talking about health being our birthright, and yet we've been given our power away by potentially doing all the other things that we think are more beneficial, like taking medication or giving our power away to somebody else, looking for the answers outside of ourselves, when really we've got that ability to heal. And so that's really what we're talking about today, that health is our birthright. Anything you want to add, Laura, please?
No, it absolutely is. And it sounds so crazy, and it sounds like impossible, yet it wasn't. And I can promise people, a lot of people that are on this this webinar this morning already know my story. And it was when I took my power back and trusted my body and erased everything that I'd ever heard about me not being able to heal, is what started me on my healing journey. And I saw results rather quickly, but it all involved me forgetting what I was told about not being able to heal, and realize that my body has an innate wisdom already in it. We have a divine energetic flow throughout all of our bodies. And that divine energy, which is helping us breathe and our cells work, is part of the healing. And we just need to be able to connect with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I completely agree with you. And I will talk about my story a bit further in, but it's just, that is the truth. We have got that ability to heal, just like if you cut yourself or break a bone or whatever.
Have a black eye.
A black eye even. Yeah, that's right. We have that ability to heal. So it's just understanding that we're tapping into that innate power. Okay, so just want to start introducing myself very, very briefly. You can see already, I don't need to read that, you can read it yourself. But really, the story starts when my daughter had an autoimmune disease, and we were doing all the things for 14 years, trying methotrexate, injections, blood tests, all the stuff that we thought was the only option. I thought getting a name for her autoimmune disease was our way forward, when actually it just kept us in the cycle. And I trained in advanced hypnotherapy back in June 2018, and I decided to have a session with my daughter. It was our first session. It was my first ever session with a real person rather than just a training exercise, because she's going through a flare-up of her autoimmune disease. She'd been off the drugs for 8 weeks. She was having they said she may have outgrown it. We were excited, only that wasn't what happened. She started having joint pain in her knees, and they said you need to go back on the drugs, and this time it might be more powerful drugs that she needed. And she was already vomiting every weekend already. And both of us said we can't face that. And we thought that was the only way forward. So I said, look, I know other people have got really great results with this advanced hypnotherapy. Why don't we give it a go and just see what happens? And she's like, oh, okay, Mum, whatever, you know. So very reluctantly, almost, she had a session with me, and we did get to her personal route. And her personal route was that she needed pain to be like her brothers and her cousin. And actually, I got pain when her symptoms started as well, which I hadn't sort of equated at that time. But anyway, she was able to release it in that single session, and she's been pain-free, symptom-free, and medication-free since then. So that is my big why behind my work, because we were trapped in that cycle, thinking that was the best solution. And it hurts my heart it honestly does, to feel that other people are still in that cycle like we were, when actually we have much more power than we've been led to believe. So, Laura, over to you. There we go. There's your beautiful screen.
There you go. Yes, a very similar story. I was diagnosed with so many different things. I was in my early 30s, and my body was breaking down slowly through a series of different traumas that were happening in my life. So I had everything from fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, Hashimoto's. My gallbladder was 100% non-functioning. I had digestive ailments, multiple chemical sensitivities, and then on top of that, and depression and anxiety, on top of that, I was eventually diagnosed with an incurable disease. And at that point, the doctor said, there's nothing we can do for you. It's not curable. We do want you to have radical surgery, but it won't cure it. And you'll have to be on medications for the rest of your life. And when they had done the diagnostic surgery, which I hear so many stories of injury too from other people, but they cut me internally. And so I bled for about a week internally. So that was not really good. So anyway, I had something inside of me that began to think, you know what, my body would never betray me. There's something going on. I don't know what it is, but something's going on. And I didn't want to jump into what the doctors were asking me to do. I felt like, let me do some research. Let me just see. Somewhere, somehow, somebody has to have been able to have cured what I have. So I began to do the research, and I eventually found a lady in the UK who said she did heal herself. So I read her book, and it all made so much sense to me. So I applied nutrition and detox and reversing stress as much as I could out of my life. All of these things were playing into what was happening. But it's important to note too that I had so much trauma in my life, and here I was losing my health, and they were correlated together. So I began to be able to connect the dots with the environment outside of me was creating this environment within me. So once I was able to change my inner and outer environment and begin to work with my body, put my trust back in myself instead of what the doctor's prognosis was and diagnosis, I began to heal. And as a matter of fact, when I started applying holistic tactics, which we're going to talk about today, I went from walking with a cane and in pain 30 days of the month to just about pain-free in less than 2 weeks. So that, to me being the guinea pig, I was like, okay, so wait a minute, this is amazing. This is absolutely extraordinary. My body is responding to these natural techniques that I started implementing. And from that day on, I continued to heal. I did go on a long journey, 10 years, and during that time became a master herbalist. a holistic health and wellness consultant, and later a certified life coach, so that I could continue to work with the body and the mind and the spirit, and work and help people reverse chronic illness by working with the whole physiology.
That's beautiful. That's so
Yeah.
beautiful. And actually, as you were just saying about how your pain was like over in 2 weeks, Emily, at the end of her session, and this isn't like everybody's um, experience, but it can be. Emily was like, she was doing this at the end of the session, and I asked her what that was, and she said, "Oh, all my joints were just clicking back into place." I was like,
Yeah.
"Are you for real? Are you just
Yeah.
winding me up? Are you just pretending?" And then she was like kneeling, and she was kneeling on the in the lounge floor, and she was like, "What are you doing now?" She goes, "Look at me, Mum. I can actually kneel, and it doesn't hurt." And I'm like, are you making it up? Are you just like pretending because you're trying to play the game with me? Because this was my first session. I didn't really know what to expect. But no, that was actually her real thing. The pain, it just went because she realized she didn't need to hold on to it anymore. So it doesn't have to be, it can be that quick because, and actually our higher self doesn't hold on to all this stuff. It's just our body. So if our higher self can let go of it that quickly, then yeah, we can too. So, it doesn't have to come back next week and talk about your pain over and over and over again. Let's just get to the root, like Laura does it as well, so that we can really have true health and wellness. Thank you for sharing that. It's always, I've heard it before, but it's always, always, always such a wonderful thing to hear. Okay, so medical system is failing us in chronic care. That's the next thing we want to talk about. And we sort of already talked about it in some detail, because the thing is, in chronic care, we have got chronic illness, and and if you think about it and you're taking your medication, is it making you well, or is it giving you more symptoms? The chances are it's giving you more symptoms. That was my experience with Emily. I know other people have said the same thing. They're just in that cycle, and then you tend to have more medication to counteract the symptoms that you're experiencing. What would you like to add to that, Laura?
Well, we're not here to down the medical system, right? So the
No,
medical
not no,
system
not at
has a
all.
great place for acute care. Like I
Mm-hmm.
always say, if you get hit by a bus, they're going to be able to sew your leg and your arm back
Yeah,
on.
absolutely. Yeah,
And so there's
absolutely.
definitely a place for it. But where the medical system is failing is in chronic care for chronic illness. And there are many reasons for that. One is because doctors are trained to learn about pharmaceutical drugs and match those to symptoms. And that is pretty much all they know. And so what they're missing is the root cause. Everybody's been to the doctor and they're like, well, I don't know why you're having this happening. Let's go run tests, run tests, run tests. And it's endless doctor visits trying to get a diagnosis. And, even with that, sometimes they don't even know. The other part is that doctors don't know nutrition. Most doctors only get about an hour or up to 4 hours only of nutrition training and teaching in their education. And so we know that a lot of chronic illness, I'm sure Rachel and I both, I know me, I've been able to help so many people release chronic illness just using nutrition and detox, using foods as medicine. So there's this beautiful innate wisdom, as I said with me, when I found out how our bodies know how to heal, we just need to allow it. And so when we go and take more synthetic drugs, it's not allowing the healing to happen necessarily. So in my case, when I had Hashimoto's, I was on Synthroid, and I was on that for a year. And I was like, I don't feel any different. I'm still chronically fatigued. I'm still, can't gain weight and all of these things. I didn't feel like it was doing anything. But more importantly, why? Why was my thyroid not working correctly. And so I could go back later and understand the amount of stress that I was in my life, for one, the amount of chemical toxicities that was in my body at that time. Our thyroids are so delicate. It's a beautiful little gland that's so delicate. Not enough sunlight in my life. So, when we talk about the conventional medical system, unless they're working with nutrition and detoxification, your energy centers, your lifestyle, your stress, your trauma from childhood, we're going to talk about that soon, trapped emotions inside of our body, like that, those are the root cause of chronic illness, guys. And so for me, it didn't make sense to take these medications that didn't offer a healing. It was way more important for me to ask my body, why is this happening, and then begin to discover. So that took me on a very long journey to do that. But the good news is once we learn how to tune into our bodies, learn the communication. This is why Rachel and I are here. What is our body trying to tell us through the sensations of pain? Why something's not working? So while we're not downing the medical system, we're here today to tell you that there are so many ways for you guys to implement many different modalities to bring healing into your life. We're not asking you to get off medication necessarily, but you may be able to, like a lot of my clients have, and begin to implement these beautiful, beautiful different healing modalities where your body can finally allow the healing in.
Absolutely. Perfectly said. Okay, so now we're going to talk about traumas being passed through generations, and it's so true. And I've had lots of clients where they've gone back to right from being in the womb, and that's really exciting when they go, I don't know why I'm here. What is going on? This is really, really, and it takes them a while to sort of, because it's unexpected, but it's so interesting how we are pure sensation in the womb. We are picking up, we are energetic beings. And so energy is energy, emotion is energy in motion. So it's emotion gets stuck in our bodies. The emotion that we don't like feeling, we don't process it, and it tends to get stuck. So if you think back to being in the womb in your mum's, in your mum's womb, how that felt, you were picking up all her sensations. So if she was worried and scared and all the rest of it, or whatever was going on with her. I mean, one client recently was there like, oh, I'm here to save my parents' marriage. It felt that heavy. And so a massive amount of responsibility came through. So I know you've got a little story to share as well, Laura. So do you want to talk about that as well, and anything else that comes to mind?
Yeah, sure. This is fascinating because it's interesting when one of the things that I teach is epigenetics and how our body's genetic expression can change from inner and outer environmental measures. And so we know that trauma is passed on generationally through our parents, as Rachel was just discussing. It's interesting to know that I picked up some of my dad's fears, like fear of heights. Like, I don't know why I'm scared of heights, other than my dad also had that fear, and fear of dentists. Now, I may have learned that just from being with him, but I didn't have my dad with me all of my life. It's very interesting to know too that my mom and dad had trauma in their lives. And so I also had a lot of trauma in my life. So having done some hypnosis, I now know that a lot of my traumas were brought in from past lives, or my parents and their parents and their parents. How does this work? This is what we call epigenetics, right? So there was this study that was just fascinating. These scientists, and I forget what year it is they took two groups of mice. And what they did is they allowed one group of mice just to eat normally and live a normal life. And another group of mice in this experiment, every time they offered them food, they also released this chemical. It was completely chemically made, but it smelled like a combination of cherries and almonds, right? And so as they released that smell and the mice went to go eat, they would send an electrical shock to the mice. And so it began this sort of learning technique with one part of the mice learning that when that smell is around when they're eating, it equated to pain. So what they did is they began to use this experiment to watch the next set of offspring to see how they would react. And sure enough, the babies from the first trial group, they had an aversion to the smell of cherries and almonds. And it went further to their great grandchildren in the litter, the pups from there. So it was passed down minimally from 3 generations, if not more. And so this also was fascinating to me, as it included those pups that were birthed through in vitro. So we know that genetically, there's been also experiments with the Jews that had suffered greatly under the hand of the Jews and had been to concentration camps, and they found that their children also carried the same traumas in their genetic makeup, had more fears, had more chronic illness, had more anxieties. So what we're talking about is fact-based and science-based.
Absolutely. Yes. And if you think about it as well, when you're in the womb, going back, when your mum was being formed in your grandmother's womb, the eggs were formed in her then as well, in the grandparent. So the eggs of you were being formed in your mum. So even that, you're still part of you, tiny little part of you, was still being formed right back then as well. So just you can see how all of it just gets fed down the line.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why autoimmune diseases or whatever diseases are generational. It's like we're told it's hereditary, but actually it's trauma that's behind it all. It's those dense emotions that are in your body that get passed down. And that is what really going on. So even genetic illness you're able to heal yourself from it, because it's just emotional pain that you can release.
And I'd like to add something else too. Chronic illness isn't necessarily always from generational trauma, and it's not always from trauma. Chronic illness many times is simply trapped emotions in the body. And that is because we have not learned how to process emotions correctly. Nobody taught me when I was a kid, when I was angry or upset or hurt or sad. Nobody said, okay, Laura, I want you to breathe and I want you to feel the emotions. I mean, it's just me and maybe some of you on this Zoom were told, don't cry. If you're going to cry, I don't want to see you cry. Go to your room and cry, or big boys don't cry. And so we were taught disassociation from ourselves, you see. And so a lot of my clients, what we work on is releasing these trapped emotions that many of them don't even know they're in there. They just didn't know how to process emotions, maybe from childhood, maybe from later in life. And many times my clients don't even know that that's what's happening. They have no idea. They just think, well, yeah, that person left me and, left me high and dry, excuse me, and said they didn't love me anymore. And I just went on with my life. Yeah, I was mad for 2 days and I just went on with my life. But that doesn't mean we processed the emotions correctly, you guys. And so since we're bioenergetic beings, what happens is, as Rachel so greatly said, emotions are energy in motion. And so when the emotions aren't able to pass through the body, they become trapped in the body. And guess what happens there? When they're in there long enough, now we've got this chronic situation. It's not healing But the beautiful thing is once you realize this, now you can come back home to yourself and say, okay, body, I feel these sensations. I feel this is something wrong with me, whether it's your kidney, your liver, your knees, your back. And you can say, what is this communication trying to tell me? What is my body trying to tell me? Your doctor isn't going to know this. Your doctor, unless they're a holistic doctor or they do, you know, anything near holistic and doing energy work, they're not going to know. So this is where you get to take your power back. Okay, I'm having lower back pain. It just won't go away. Nothing's helping. Aspirin, ibuprofen, painkillers. My back just hurts. Your body is wanting you to heal. It's saying, stop, pay attention to me. We've got something going on inside of us. Let's heal it.
Yes, 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 absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. And I've actually got a book coming out in the next few weeks. I haven't got an actual date yet, but Decoding the Body's Messages, Unlock Your Wisdom to Heal is what it's about. And kidneys and back and where your symptoms are tells a deeper story. It's telling you, your body speaks to you, your body loves you, actually. And yet we tend to sort of shame it a bit when we start having symptoms because we think it's broken down. Actually, it's talking to you, and its language is pain and symptoms. We haven't been told that. And so where the symptoms are tells the deeper story. So I just wanted to go through it briefly, but shoulders are about carrying burdens that aren't yours. The right side of the body, the way I do it is, hold on, I'm just going to let somebody else see. This is exciting. Okay, so the right side of the body is in the right here, right now moment. Right side, it's ever so easy to remember, right here, right now. The left side is something in the past. So if it's both, then you've got both going on. So shoulders are about carrying burdens that aren't yours. Your back is about feeling unsupported. Your throat, any throat issues about not being able to communicate, not being able to share your truth. You're suppressing how you feel. Ears even are about not being able to, what do you not want to hear? That's the question. Is it something now or something in the past? And so it's just going down all of it. Our arms are about holding on to things that we need to be letting go of. Our legs and hips are about not being able to move forward from something. Digestive issues, what are you not stomaching? So that's just a very, very basic. But you can see, and also the question you can ask yourself is, what was going on for me emotionally when these symptoms began? Like, oh yeah, so it's not, you've not gone through a toxic relationship and you've got a fibromyalgia. It's because, sweetheart, it's because. So it's, you've got suppressed emotions from all the stuff you've gone through. So whether it's your boss at work who fired you and you just carried on, what did you tell yourself in that moment? I don't matter. I'm not enough. Other people are better than me. And you disassociate. Laura said it, and I've written it down. You disassociate from yourself. And that's what trauma is. It's any situation you've been through that made you disassociate from yourself, stop loving part of you. And so that becomes like a fragmented mirror. And all of that is, if you can imagine that fragmented mirror, is your emotions not going through your body and not flowing. So not flowing causes you pain. We all know how painful trapped wind is, and that is still a gas and energy. So that is what's going on, is that emotion stuck that can't move. We just need to, all our emotions need to do is to feel. So we just need to, and that's why I work with I regress you back to how, when, where, why it all began. And you can start, oh, I'm 5. I'm at a birthday party. This isn't the worst thing that ever happened to me. How did you feel? Oh, but everybody else is all in a clicky group and I feel left out. I'm not enough. Okay. So it can be all, doesn't have to be the worst thing that's ever happened to you. But it's the first time you felt like that, really. That's generally where we go back to. So that you can then understand it. Like, oh, I never and it's interesting to see how it all ties together, because your current now moment isn't unplanned, really. It's because of everything that's gone through. It's all our subconscious mind loves keeping us in those familiar patterns. It loves, because it wants to keep you safe predominantly. So if it doesn't know that £1,000,000 rise or whatever, it's thinking, oh no, we need to keep you in the lack because we know what that feels like. We can't have you like becoming more than, because we don't know what that feels like. So that is what your subconscious mind does. You have to be able to talk to it in a more positive way. And that's what our free gifts are about. And we'll come on to that shortly as well.
And I want to add one more thing is the system that's in place, because the system doesn't know how to get to the root cause of these illnesses. We've been kind of brainwashed by the system in so many different ways to believe our bodies are broken. And 10 times out of 10, when I talk with a client or somebody that I'm just having a conversation with, like I remember the gentleman, I was sitting somewhere having lunch and the gentleman next to me, he's like, I got to have 2 knee operations. I'm only 57. He was my age, 57. And he's like, man, growing old sucks. And so we think we have equated aging with bad hips, bad knees, osteoporosis, macular degeneration, sagging skin, all of these things. But these are not our true belief systems. These are conditions, you see. And so this is how I work with people too, and Rachel and I do this in our group, is we work with those belief systems that are not really ours. They're false. So when we look at our body as broken, something's wrong, whether it's, and then look at it through the lenses of trauma or bad emotional experiences, and then we don't process it, then we're just stuck in a loop. We're in that constant loop of there's something wrong with me. I'm broken. My body's sick. My body can't heal. My body has all of this going on and the doctors can't figure it out, but I'm on 50 different medications and none of them are actually healing me. And in reality, they're causing way more toxicity and inflammation in our bodies and a whole avalanche of other symptoms, you see. So it's important, because we're talking about holistic, Rachel and I today, that we bring in all of these trauma, these emotions, our belief systems. What is your belief system on your body being able to heal? Have you ask yourself this, just get curious, like, what are my beliefs on aging? What are they? What are my beliefs on healing? Do you believe you can heal? Because if you believe you can heal, I promise you that's a critical decision. That critical decision is your willpower. Most people's willpower is very weak because their power's been stolen. If your willpower is strong, you can do anything. You can do anything with your willpower because it is your divine tool. What does the Bible say? Not that I'm a Bible reader, but if you have the faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. It's so true. That is your willpower. Absolutely. And this is how people heal.
Absolutely. And if you want to pop anything in the comments that come up, please feel free to do that. We'll read through them in a minute when we get to that point, but we'd love to hear from you. How's that landing? How's that landing? Are you ready to start claiming your health into feeling amazing again? Because that is your birthright. That's what we're here to talk about today. So that was a really good conversation there. Thank you. So there are many, many methods to relieve chronic illness and pain. Many, many, many. And these are ones that Laura and I are able to give you. And this is how we work. So Reiki is one of those things that we're giving you now, just by being in now energy. So there's so many things. Do you want to walk this through?
Yeah. So whenever that, you understand that there's and I think that's what we want all of you guys to understand is healing isn't linear for anybody. Everybody's so different. And
Mm.
so the cool thing about natural healing, holistic healing, is there's so many different ways that the body heals. So if we look at this list, and by the way, this list is not inclusive by any way, shape, or form. It's just all we can fit on our little baby computer screens. So, but muscle testing. So I'm able to do muscle testing on people to help them release pain. Just the other day, my friend Kelly had texted me just a quick little testimony, and she was just crying in pain, back pain. And she's like, I just don't know what to do. It just hurts so bad. So I took her through an exercise. I did just simple muscle testing, which I work with her subconscious through my subconscious. And when she got up again, 50% of her pain was gone and she could actually twist and turn again. So it's a beautiful way to use our natural energy. We're energetic beings to help release pain. A lot of it stuck, as we say, from our subconscious. Acupuncture and acupressure. These are things like tapping, emotional freedom technique. And I don't know if you teach that. Rachel, do you teach acupuncture, tapping?
I don't teach tapping, but I
Okay.
do something very similar. It's called, no, they called it silent counseling. It's using your acupressure points and your fingers. So it's not painful. It's really exciting, and I'll go through some of those little exercises as well later, so you can actually start releasing some of your own emotions just by using your
Yeah.
fingers. And it
Yes.
released a lot of my grief that I was carrying from my mum in a supermarket. You know, you get that wave of grief coming over. Oh my gosh, I'm going to cry. I can't do that. I'm queuing in the supermarket. This is really embarrassing. Okay, so that I know what to do. So I was able to release grief just by being able to feel it that way. And it was much lovely. It was actually really nice to feel it releasing me and leaving me and not feeling that overwhelmed like a tsunami wave. So yeah, that's what I do, acupressure, and it's good. We'll do some releasing in a minute. So
Yeah.
yeah, do you want to carry on?
Yeah. So emotional healing. This is something that obviously Rachel and I are predominant in as we help heal those emotions. And I have exercises. We have a private group, Facebook group, where we actually do these emotional healing and take you through the exercises and learn how to process these emotions correctly. Obviously, nutrition and detox, because we have to work with the whole physiology, just not part of it, not just emotions, but also the physical body. So, nutrition and detox, when we talk about chronic illness, is also a part of the puzzle piece. Trauma releasing is, we've already talked about that. Energy work, that's muscle testing and Reiki, which is the next thing here, which Rachel and I both do as energetic workings. It's not woo woo, it's not weird, it's not witchy. We are all energetic beings. We all have an energy that flows through us that's divine. And it's just Rachel and I have learned how to work with that energy, to use it and control that energy to help other people heal. And so meditation, I talk about, if you know me, you know I'm talking about meditation all the time, which is meditation has helped me heal from chronic back pain, correct my eyesight, because it gets under your layers, what I call your bullshit layers, your layers of onion that is just your ego and it's your fake personality. So meditation's beautiful. Somatic experiencing is using your body to release the trauma. You've got sore hips, so you're very restricted in your body. We learn how to open up and allow the trauma to release, so the chronic illness can become more regulated and allow it to leave your body. We have meditation in here twice. Cool. And then chakra balancing. If you don't know what a chakra is, you want to join our group because we do talk about that. We all have 7 major energy centers in our body. From our root chakra to our crown chakra, we actually have a lot more than that, but these are our main chakras. And your energy system travels up and down and wants to pass freely through your chakras, but we have to get past the lower three chakras, which are survival mode. Then it keeps us stuck in this chronic illness and pain and suffering in our life until we can begin to heal and then start experiencing more love and bliss and abundance and manifestation when we reach the higher chakras. So that's something that we teach and we help people with in our private group as well.
Yes,
Cool
absolutely.
stuff.
Yes, that's lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, any questions about any of these modalities, just let us know, because I know some of this might be new for some of you. Maybe you haven't heard of some of these things. They're just simple tools. We don't sell anything. We don't use any other kind of tools, but these sort of information-based tools.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, let me just go back to the. So we have got a wonderful group going on that we created between us. We're all about releasing energy and everything like we've just talked about. We do all of that in our group, and it's called Total Holistic Health Acceleration because we are here to accelerate your health into that true health and wellness that you deserve. And we have 2 live sessions a month. All of our sessions are recorded, so you can go back and watch the replays over and over. And we have done so many things already. We started in November, and all the back catalogue, even if you join today or whenever you decide to join, you've got the back catalogue as well. So you've got a ton of value in there. And we have covered stuff like releasing false beliefs, helping you release anxiety, breaking the habit of being a fixer, balancing your chakras, your energy centers. That was such an amazing, well, they're all amazing, but that was really amazing. And there's a meditation there as well that I designed for you so that you can then help yourself heal by listening to that. If you're not a member, you can also buy that as well, but it's free in the group. So that's another benefit. You've got manifesting, we did, because once you start releasing those dense energies, you can start creating the life that you really want more powerfully, more successfully, and really start, turning your power on, switching it on, and realizing that you are a creative being and we are manifesting all the time, except a lot of it is accidental, and we're like, really, I manifested that, I don't want this. Right, okay, well, come and join our group and we'll show you how to start manifesting intentionally, how to start creating, which manifesting is creating. It's creating the life that you want to, because our energy is going out into the world. So we're like little radio transmitters all the time. And these radio transmitters are beaming out all your beliefs, all your energy, all that stuff. And if you've got sort of dense energy in there, you're going to get your reality. What you're experiencing in the now moment is what your body's telling you. What what's out there is what you're feeling. So if you don't like it, let's start shifting and changing it, because you have got the power. You absolutely have. And then we've talked about, we've not just talked about, we're actually healing. With all these sessions are healing. They're not just talking or mentioning like we are today. We're actually going down the layers into what it's all about and the how to release chronic conditions. We've done 3 of those. Laura's shares lots of stuff. We've all shared little extra bonuses really about releasing. How do you use food as an anti-inflammatory? Well, Laura knows, and she shares in the group all that as well. So improving memory, we've done that. In releasing skin issues, we've done that as well. We've done gratitude, because how you feel matters. So let's allow you to be more in the energy of gratitude. And the more you're in the energy of gratitude, guess what happens? You get more gorgeous things coming into your life. And we've got a powerful video that Laura and I did. We bounced back from each other and it was really exciting. And so you've got that video as well to see, so that you can be in our energy of, oh yes, and there's this and then there's that. And it was a fabulous thing that we shared. even making a gratitude jar was something that I shared as well. And skin and messages behind what your skin's telling you. There's a video there too. We talk about journaling and how that's important. So there's a healing journal there that we created. There's a gratitude journal there as well. There's so much for £40 a month or $49 already, even without going on to our future sessions that we have. Anything you want to add, Laura?
Yeah, we just want to invite people in and let them know that transformation is possible. As Rachel just went through the list of everything that we do in our group, we really want people to be able to come into our group, into a safe space. It's a small little community that we're growing that gives you alternative ways to bring healing into your life. Very applicable, very simple, very easy. Knowledge is power. Once you have this knowledge, you're able to implement it into your life and begin to feel the release, feel improvement, and become empowered to step out of whatever's holding you back, whether it's chronic illness, chronic pain, trauma, emotional well-being issues, these sort of things. So Rachel and I got together and created this group because we know so many people have been hopeless in this world. They've just been stuck. They've just on these medications. They're just frustrated. They're hopeless with their doctors and no way out. And I've been there and I understand it. And so we are seeing the globe sort of wake up to the medical system. The whole entire earth is knowing and seeing the broken pieces. And so this group of Total Health Acceleration is here for you to empower you, as we said, give you real life tools and real-time healing when you sit with Rachel and I. As she said, we do 2 lives a month. And during that time, we'll focus on a particular theme. Rachel went through the different themes that we've done so far. It's unlimited right now. So when you come in, you get to say, hey, let's talk about this. And we will do, Rachel's able to do a hypnosis where she accesses our subconscious mind to release some things that are correlated with these physical illnesses. And then I talk about the physical aspect, plus we give you knowledge. We might do, I might do muscle testing and help you release the pain right there via video. So there's so many different things that we do in there. We want you guys to be a part of that. Today is Global Wellness Day, and we want this to be your focus. Your focus should be on you and on healing. It should never be on there's no hope, I'm broken, I've never been able to heal from this. We're all about empowerment, and we would love to invite you in. It's $49 US, 40 UK, whatever you call your money. I forget. So we kept it. Other coaches do private groups that are thousands of dollars, and they do less. And Rachel and I have this heart for humanity, and we just want to do this for really inexpensive, and get you guys more empowered to begin your healing journey with us and on your own. So you're never, ever at the what's the word I'm looking for? At the, like, you don't have to be a victim of the medical system if it's not
well, mercy was the word that came to mind. It might not be the word you were thinking of.
Yeah, it's like it totally wouldn't come to me. And I see we do have the link in the chat for our group. You can reach out to Rachel and I personally to talk more about the group. If you have any questions, you can put some questions in the chat right now. We really are waiting to work with you guys. We're really waiting to bring you on board and help you step out of that. So don't be afraid to ask any questions or to reach out to one of us or both of us, and we'll tell you a little bit more about it. But go check out the website, go read through it, see what we're doing.
You just click on that link and it will take you there as well.
Yeah.
So we haven't done releasing the frustration, guilt, grief, or loss yet. I'm just wondering when to put that in. Do we talk about the addiction first, what we're doing next week, or should we talk about releasing stuff now? What do you think? Should we do
Well,
it at
let's
the
just
end?
talk about the releasing things now. Let's finish up with
All right.
that.
Okay, let's okay. So, well, let's start by releasing frustration. We're going to do frustration, guilt, grief, and loss today. So we've all got frustration. We've all gone through that sort of stuff. And frustration, if you think about it, when you're feeling frustrated, what do you touch in your body when you're feeling frustrated? Chances are you're like, oh, right. Well, that is exactly where you need to release it from. So you just need your two fingers, middle finger, index finger on both hands. It's like your battery power pack, if you like. So you just hold your temples just there and just breathe in. It's all about your breath as well. So just breathe in, imagining that you're breathing. You could feel the frustration. You just need to acknowledge it. So just acknowledge frustration as you're breathing in. And then as you breathe out, just breathe out in 2 breaths because it's more powerful than one. So just breathe it away. So you're breathing in, just acknowledge frustration and breathe it out. Breathe it in and breathe out. So just acknowledge it again. There we go. You do that as often as you want to. So there's your little takeaway. You've got that tool now for life to know when you're feeling frustrated, okay, I just need to release it. It just needs acknowledging. And I don't know about anybody else, but I felt my back feel a bit more freer doing that too. So we're doing guilt. Because guilt and shame is that self-blame and guilt. That's something we all hold on to as well. So we're using this time we're using the index finger of your left hand, and you're placing your middle finger and index finger of your right just in front of so just in front of you. Okay, perfect. That's wonderful. So you're just acknowledging again the guilt and self-blame as you breathe in, and then just breathe it out in 2 breaths. So breathing, just acknowledge self-blame and guilt. You don't need to hold on to that anymore. Breathe it away. In. And then just breathe it away. That's beautiful. And a lot of self-blame and guilt can be held into our large intestines. So that's a really good thing to release it from too. You might find that your intestines feel better after you've done that exercise. And the next one I want to do is grief and loss. And it's probably one of my favorites because it helped me so much. So again, you're using your middle and index finger of your right hand, and this time you're putting it on your thumb of your left hand. And isn't it, it's so easy, isn't it? If you can see how I did that in the supermarket queue, nobody need to know I was doing it. I was just holding it and go, okay, I don't need to feel this. I'm acknowledge it and I'm letting it go. So I'm just stood there in the queue waiting to be served. But how amazing is that? You've empowered yourself just by doing this. Isn't it great? Just tools and techniques just that you can use anytime,
It's
and you
pretty
can teach your
awesome.
kids.
And
It is.
I love when you talk about breathing because most people have no clue that the air and how they're inhale and exhale, they just think they're just breathing, but how the body releases emotions is through the breath. So the body is with its innate wisdom, you poop out toxins that you eat and absorb through your body, and how the body releases stuck emotions is through the exhale. So these are things that Rachel and I work with to teach you, no, you're not just breathing, you're intentionally focused breathing to release these things that are causing ailment.
Exactly. It's so powerful and so simple. And yet we've given our power away so much. This is about you taking your power back and saying yes to yourself. Okay, so the next one is about what we're doing next time, which is
We're talking about addictions in our very next live. It's next Wednesday. No, it's 2 weeks from now on the
19th. The
19th.
19th,
Yes,
yeah.
it'll be 3 o'clock
Couldn't say that
Eastern time,
she wasn't
and
no one.
Rachel and I will be live. And
Yes, you
we
deposit stuff to Al. You can hear me, can you? Sorry.
oh, I don't know who that is.
No.
I'm like, what? Is somebody talking to me? So it'll be 3 o'clock Eastern, and we're going to talk about addictions. We started out, we were going to talk about alcohol addiction, but Rachel and I feel like addiction can come in so many different ways and phases. So we really want to talk about addiction at the core of what it really is, because addiction can be anything, right? Because I know I have an addiction to chocolate. So we're going to talk about that in 2 weeks on the 19th. If way to go, Kevin. So we would love to have you join us. If you or somebody you know struggles with addiction, we are really going to go deep for about an hour live with Rachel and I, and really bring you some glorious ways to release these addictions. The work that we do works, and it's a beautiful thing to be a part of this pioneering way of healing the body and the mind. Are you going to do a hypnosis on that, Rachel?
I am,
Okay.
because the thing is, addiction isn't what we've been told either. It is, like we've been saying all the way through, it is emotional. There's so much we're going to talk about in that. So the fact is, we've been told it's not what we've been told. So it's about rethinking it completely. That's what we're going to talk about. Gabor Mate, Dr. Gabor Mate is an amazing person on this subject as well, and I'm really behind what he talks about. So it's about, I'm not going to go into it because we've already talked for an hour, but come and join us, and then we can you can find out what it really is about and how you've got the power to take your power back from it. I do work with clients with addiction a lot as well. So it's so freeing when you can get rid of it and you go, oh, I'd no idea that's what the root was. So we're going to the root of it all. And so you don't want to miss it. It's amazing. It can be shopping addiction, it can be porn, it can be whatever, it can be alcohol, it can be anything that you feel powerless over, or you feel that you can't stop. Then let's come and join us. It's worth, just for that one session is worth £40, isn't it? Or 49 US dollars. You can hardly get Reiki for that. So this is all of that. You've got Reiki, you've got all of this going on, and you've got the past catalogue, our library as well. And it's also in a platform where you can log in for yourself, so that you can see what videos you've watched and what interests you, what doesn't. You've got that whole choice. It's all in one place. We've got the Facebook group too, where we chat as well, and we're in there a lot. But you've also got this too. So there's everything. We're here for you, and we're listening to how we can improve it. And that's why we've got the platform now as well, that you can log in and see where you're up to and what you've watched, what you haven't.
Cool. Awesome. Any
So now,
questions?
questions
Yeah.
time.
I've got the chat up to see if there's any questions and answers. Now, Rachel, can you just speak real quick where the links are going to be for the free gifts?
I'm going to put, well, yes, hold on.
Okay.
I'm going to
We're going to
stop
post them in
sharing.
here.
I'm
Okay.
going to stop sharing. So
There we go.
now that's better. Now I can see. There we go. Francis has put everything in the chat. So
Awesome. Yeah. So all of your free resources are popping in right now into the chat, so you can grab those and start utilizing those right away.
Yes, that's the other thing. Yes, you can cancel our group anytime you want to as well. So you're not locked in. This is all for you. So yeah, that's great. So what questions have you got for us? This can be anything about your health. What questions have you got? Maybe you've tried other things and you're like, I'm stuck. What
I'm
questions
stuck with
have
that
you got?
chocolate. I'm going to be on the next live because I want to talk about that chocolate issue.
I used to have that. Mine's more coffee.
I can go
And
months without it, but then when I have some, like it's
yes,
gonna be a continuous.
yes, yes, it's funny, isn't it? It's that self-soothing, I think, as well. It's the
It
sugar
is
thing.
it
Sugar
is.
addiction is the thing, isn't it?
It is self-soothing, absolutely. It is distracting oneself from something that they don't want to face. But we'll
Yeah,
talk about that in 2 weeks. So we hope you
yeah.
guys can all join us. It doesn't look like there's any questions, but feel free to reach out to us anytime. And we hope to see you guys all in there as our group continues to grow, and take advantage of all of your freebies in the chat as well.
Mm. Yes, releasing the thing is why we've shared the releasing negative self-talk. Is your book there, your ebook? Has that been shared?
Yes.
You just yeah, good, great. So the why we started with the free gifts about releasing negative self-talk is because how you talk to yourself matters. So when you talk to yourself, are you talking to yourself in a negative way? Are you saying, oh, you silly, whatever, blah, 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 fill the missing blanking. I'm never going to amount to anything. Oh, I'm so stupid. Is that your dialogue? Because the
Or
chances are,
by saying my elbow will never heal. I've always had this. That's negative self-talk too. So talking to our body as if in the state that it will never be able to heal.
that's true. So this is about self-awareness, because the awareness is key to change. You have to be aware before you can start changing it. Otherwise, it's still in your blind spot. So it's about seeing it. Okay, I do talk to myself negatively. Why does it matter? Because all your emotions are being fed into your body. It's like all that negative stuff. So it's like a negative energy going into your body. I've got like a battery is what's coming into my mind. All that negative energy is going into your body, and it's filling every single cell. Every cell in your body is listening to what you say, and you're filling it with that negativity. How's that going to work out for you long term? Negatively. Okay. In one simple word, it's going to work out in a negative way to you. So let's shift it. How do you shift it? Start talking to yourself like your best friend. Because if think about how you talk to yourself now, it's probably in that negative thing. If it was a real person in your life telling you all this negative stuff all the time, you would have ditched them decades ago, probably. So this is about you starting to be your best friend. And it's okay to still think about a negative thought sometimes. Like, oh, actually, is that true? No, it's not. Where did that come from? Probably a teacher, maybe a parent, whatever. But you have got the power now to decide whether you want it in your life or not. That's a negative thought. So turn the thing round. Okay, look in the mirror. I am amazing. I'm wonderful. Now, maybe when you start saying that, like, ooh, that's not true, but start anyway, because your mind learns by repetition. And the more you say it, you've been telling yourself the negative stuff and you believe that, didn't you? So now start turning the talk into positive and just baby steps. I am lovable. Yes, you are. You're here on the planet, which means you are made of love. And this is my little, my, I love this. This is you. This is you, the real you. This is you. Your energy is made of love just because you're here on the planet. Like it's a divine droplet of water, if you like. That is you. You're made of that energy. And yet you don't feel like that because, as Laura spoke about earlier, it's those layers of onion that made you feel bad that you then created your ego self around. So it's about understanding that it is just trauma and the lack of its emotional stuff. And so when we release the trauma and release all those old stories, because all the trauma that you went through gives you those false stories of I'm not enough, I'm not lovable, blah, 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 that's creating your negative self-talk. We did all this in the session as well. So if you can watch this when you join us, but it's all about releasing all that. And so you then feel like a sparkly diamond, which is you. That's that essence of love. That is who you are. And by seeing that, your energy is different. You show up differently. You believe in yourself. That's the power that this is. Just by those tiny little steps, just very, very small baby steps of starting to turn your negative self-talk into a positive way, you really start believing in yourself. And Start creating the life that you really deserve instead of what you've got right now. So download it, please. You're doing yourself a favor. And also with Laura's book, you've got the words as well. You've got me talking to you. Listen to it in bed at night. Don't listen to it when you're driving or anything else, but do listen to it in bed at night. You can fall asleep listening to me, and start turning that negative self-talk into something positive. And you notice how your life changes. It's incredible. So thank you for joining. Any questions? Any questions? That'd be great. Just to, have you enjoyed it? What have you got out from it? That'd be great. Sort of, would you, are you pleased you joined us? We're still here, so that's good. But if we would like to have some feedback. What would you want to improve on? If got a message, what we want to improve on, all that sort of thing. Oh,
yeah, I said thank you everyone for coming.
Yeah, thank you everybody. It's just amazing. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for saying yes to yourself today. And it is your time to really claim your power back into your health and wellness. And we're here for you.
Thank you, Rachel. Thanks for all your info, and thank you everyone for coming. And hopefully we'll see you in the group.
Yes, come and join us. Come and join us in the groups, and we look forward to catching up with you soon. Thank you, and we'll catch up with you later. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.